Hi, this is Lisa Mitchell, and I want to talk to you about some of the questions you can ask yourself if you're wondering if your teen could benefit from art therapy. The first thing that I want to walk you through are a bunch of questions. When parents call to ask these kinds of questions of me, I like to figure out what the concerns are. Do you have concerns about your teen's mood, changes in behavior, increased isolation? Perhaps school performance is something that has become an issue in your home or at school. And also, what kind of friends your teen is choosing is certainly something that you're going to be looking at. I think it's hard to tease out what's normal development and what, that your teen is just growing and going through different developmental stages, figuring out who they are and how they want to be in the world versus something that is concern enough to begin a conversation with a therapist. And I think that over time, if you have had these concerns and you keep asking yourself that question, that it is important to consult a professional. And for sure, they'll help you make those kinds of conclusions or even ask that you bring your teen in for an assessment. So the thing that I like to ask consistently is your teen currently in therapy? And if your teen is in therapy, then really it's important to ask, do you feel your teen is making progress in therapy? And, progress would be changes in the initial concerns that brought you to therapy in the first place. And it does take time. And if your teen has started to make positive changes and shown some progress in therapy, yes, stick with it. It does take time. Remember that a teen's brain is very, very plastic and in terms of its ability to change and grow. And you may need to feel a little bit more patient or have a conversation with that therapist in terms of the progress that they're seeing so that you can make sure that you feel comfortable. If your teen isn't making progress and you feel that the therapy is just not aiding you and your teen in getting where you want to go in terms of changes, it may be that you need to consider some of these things. Family therapy, it's often really important to have meetings between parents and the teen because those kinds of relationships are so powerful in teen's life, and changes there can also assist the teen in making changes. It might be time for a medication evaluation, and it might be time for a different counselor or a different approach. That's where the idea of art therapy can come in, is that you can ask yourself, is your teen creative, artistic, or not very verbal? And those are really good questions to ask because if the answer is yes to any of those, then it is quite likely that your teen will benefit from art therapy because it will help them access those things that are beyond words that are really in their language, in their way of expressing. Now, you do want to consider if your teen has a strong relationship with his or her therapist, it's not a good idea to just remove that teen from that relationship and start a whole new one. That's like starting all over again. So if that's the case, if there's a good solid relationship there, you might want to consider adding art therapy as an adjunct, as something that on a every other week kind of basis is an addition to the ongoing therapy that the child is participating in. I do that quite often, and it's really a nice addition. It supports the teen in a different way and helps them express, and it also helps the talk therapist get to places that they haven't been able to before. If the relationship is not that strong with the current therapist, you might consider trying art therapy instead. In California, art therapists need to be both registered as art therapists as well as licensed as a marriage family therapist or a licensed clinical social worker, which means that they have all of the skills that are required to help your teen, not just the art therapy piece. So that could be definitely a solution. If your child is not currently in therapy, the big question is your teen willing to come to therapy? And if yes, then by all means, if your teen, it is not uncommon these days for teens to want to come to therapy, that there's not as much of a stigma attached, and peers are often engaged in therapy, and teens like to participate in that kind of self-reflection. So if they want to come, then call for an appointment. That would be wonderful. If they do not want to come, if they're unwilling, I have a whole set of other ideas for you that can help you introduce the idea, talk about art therapy, and see if your teen would be willing to give it a try. So that will be on another video that you can click on next. By all means, if this leaves you with questions, if this leads you with ideas that you hadn't before, please give me a call and I'd be happy to discuss them with you. In the meantime, take care of your teen. Thanks.